Today is quite a red letter day for the state and the citizens of Idaho. Today is the first day that we've actually been able to legally hunt wolves in Idaho. They were listed 35 years ago on the endangered species list, and we've had a successful reintroduction program. If we can find a wolf, we can actually go out and try and harvest it.
On September 1st, 2009, Marvin Hagedorn and his son J.D. were up well before dawn to be a part of the first legal wolf hunt in the lower 48 in over 30 years.
I've had no experience hunting real predators before, and these are world-class predators out here. It's a really challenging hunt. So, and there's not that many out here, so it's definitely going to be an experience trying to track one down.
The Hagedorns were just two of over 14,000 Idaho residents who lined up to purchase wolf hunting licenses or tags, allowing them to shoot wolves. A pleasing prospect for some people.
We've been living with the wolves since they reintroduced them. We live in Lowman. We're watching our neighbors run them off of their front porches. They've been killing their dogs, and we're ready to do something about it.
With the reintroduction of wolves, big game hunting is deteriorating drastically. They're depleting herds. We have to get rid of them. Some of them, not all of them. It's not going to be easy as people think. I seriously doubt if you'll see that many wolves taken.
Well, I'm probably going to have the hide tanned and hung in our restaurant in Lowman.
"70 years ago, the gray wolf was hunted and trapped nearly to extinction in the Rocky Mountain West. It was placed on the federal endangered species list in 1974. Wolves were then reintroduced into Yellowstone National Park in 1995, and their population has strongly rebounded, becoming one of the great success stories in American conservation.
It was important to restore wolves because of their ecological niche. Wolves bring with them a very unique role, and that includes things like dispersing elk away from these sensitive ecosystems, where we're starting to see restoration of aspen and willow trees, which is leading to better fisheries, which is bringing back songbirds, which we're seeing beaver come back. It's an amazing ripple effect that's happening, having wolves back on the landscape.
But protection for the wolf slipped last May when U.S. Secretary of the Interior Ken Salazar removed the animal from the endangered species list, a move considered one of the most controversial of his tenure so far. The delisting angered environmentalists, many who thought they had a new ally in the Interior Department after 8 years of what is widely perceived as neglect, if not hostility, towards conservation issues.
It's clear that Secretary Salazar missed an opportunity to do this the right way.
We spoke with Secretary Salazar about the wolf as part of an ongoing series about his efforts to change public perceptions of the Interior Department.
But the most important thing is that the scientist who has been working on the recovery of the wolf is the one who said that we were at a point where we had recovered the gray wolf to the point where it could be delisted. And so my view is that based on his recommendations that Idaho and Montana have in fact recovered the species.
A lawsuit was filed in federal court in August to keep wolves protected. The judge granted plaintiffs a hearing on August 31st and decided on September 8th not to stop the hunt.
Farmers in California, they're losing their land, their crops, and their livelihood all because of a 2-inch fish.
Endangered species issues have long been a source of controversy. Farmers in California say they are deprived water because of a small endangered fish called the Delta smelt. In the 1980s, controversy over the spotted owl stopped logging in the Pacific Northwest. And here in Idaho, the gray wolf debate is as much about people as the animal itself. In the effort to preserve a species, livelihoods are inevitably affected.
There's a good set of tracks coming right down the road.
John Faulkner is a third-generation sheep rancher here in Idaho.
Yeah, it's a ewe. It's one of ours. We lost 29 in this area on 16th of August. And then there's 41 head we never did find. I don't know where they are. That's besides the 29 that are dead. It just makes you sick. That's about all there is to it.
Despite his losses, Faulkner is resigned to the wolves' continued presence in the region.
The wolf is here to stay, so we're going to have to live with them. And to do that, if we can get them to where we can use some control efforts, why, we'll be all right.
The state of Idaho agrees. The state's Department of Fish and Game, which manages the hunt, set the number of wolves that can be killed to 220, a figure they say will allow the wolf to survive but keep it under greater control.
Well, last winter, our minimum estimate for wolves was about 850, and we know through the last several years they've grown on an average of 20% a year. So if you do that math, that comes out to 1,020. Wolves are very prolific. Can breed and increase 30 to 50% per year. That's one thing people are missing. We've reached biological recovery levels in 2002 of 100 wolves in each state and 10 breeding pairs. We're 8 times over those recovery levels right now in Idaho at a very minimum, and after this hunt, if every wolf available was taken.
But conservation groups like Defenders of Wildlife say that the state's plan to reduce the number of wolves is flawed. They contend that new science exists that should be incorporated into the state's management plan.
The science that was used in the delisting was based on 30-year-old research, or even older than that. It was an estimate of what might happen after wolves were restored here. Right now we have somewhere between 1,600 and 2,000 wolves in the region, in which scientists believe we need to have this kind of healthy wolf population in order for it to survive long term. And yet the state governments feel that they'll go back to the old science, try to manage wolves at the minimum numbers, and that we know is just not sustainable.
Well, it's nonsense. We're using the best available science. We're the people that have the animals radio collared. We're monitoring them on a daily basis. We have the best information. Not only do we have it, but we're the ones gathering it. So ask Defenders of Wildlife to please produce the science that is different than ours.
It's just coming out now. It's a bear, black bear. You see the white rock?
Yeah.
There's 2 sets of trees.
Yeah.
Right. Just going to the right side of those trees is a bear.
The precise answer to what should be done with the wolf is as elusive as the animal itself. At the end of the hunt with the Hagedorns, not a single wolf was shot or even seen. In fact, at the end of the first week of the hunt in Idaho, just 3 wolves were taken in the entire state. Meanwhile, the hunt for the wolf goes on, much to the disappointment of those who have long fought to protect it.
Having the hunt start now under a plan that threatens their survival is devastating. It's it puts all of this in jeopardy, all the work that we've done to try to bring these animals back.